Hello Jornats fans, Bob Scott here. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through how we determine what a house is worth and how you can do so too in your local market. It's actually pretty simple. What we want to do is find out what's called the after repair value, or ARV for short. This is what a home is currently worth in its best condition. That means fully fixed up and sold at the top of the market, maximizing the value of the house. You do this by figuring out what similar homes are selling for in the neighborhood. And a lot of agents will call this comps in the market for short, COMPS. This is just pulling a comparable sales report. Very easy to do. Where do we find this sort of data, the comparable sales? Well, you can find it on Zillow, Trulia. There's a lot of places on the internet that will give you an estimate of what your home is worth or actually show some similar sales. The best way to find comps is the multiple listing service. You get full details on what type of sale it was. A lot of homes they're selling out there still are foreclosures, short sales, or other types of distressed sales. And you can't use that when calculating the ARV because it's distressed or it's not an arm's length transaction. And by arm's length, I mean not selling between family members or associates, siblings, that sort of thing. That's not a true estimate of what the market is at. So you absolutely have to get access to the multiple listing service to pull comps. It's way too hard otherwise. There are a few paid services out there which are pretty good that you can use that is basically just pulling data from the MLS. And how do you pull comps? Well, we typically go in a half-mile to a 1-mile radius around the home. Depending on the neighborhood, if there's not enough comps that are close, we'll go out to a mile to try to find a few more. Sometimes homes are very unique and they are tough to comp. If homes are in a subdivision, it's typically easier, but you want to find homes that are similar in age and style to the one that you are looking to buy or have just bought. You want to have similar bed and bath counts. Also similar amenities, basement, yard size, garage, etc. Maybe it has a carport or the basements are finished. We typically go up or down 20% in the square footage. So for example, if we're looking to buy a house that has 1,000 square feet, we'll pull a range of homes that have sold that are anywhere between 800 to 1,200 square feet. You also want to look at homes that have just sold in the last year, and the more recent is better. If you can find enough comps that are with it in 6 months, that is best. If you go 2-3 years old, that's not telling of where the market is at today and what your home is worth today. That information is too dated. But again, if you can't find enough comps in that half-mile to 1-mile radius in the past year, sometimes going back a little bit older, and seeing what homes sold for. If it's a tougher to comp house, then you can do that, and that'll give you at least a better idea of where you're at. Like I said, you want to look for non-distressed, arm's length transaction, homes that have been rehabbed and have fully maximized the property's value, not homes that are in need of work or where probate deals, government foreclosures, or other types of distressed sales. Then you want to take the top 2 to 3 sales in that area that meet all those criteria above, and that is your ARV. You can get a little more detailed with this by taking an average of the dollar per square foot that the property is sold for. So in our example, we're going plus or minus 20% in the square footage column. So if you're taking the top 2 or 3 sales and they're all that 1,200 square foot house where yours is only 1,000 square foot, you do want to adjust for that, and you can calculate that pretty easy, like I said, by just pulling out an average dollar per square foot of the top 2-3 sales and then multiplying that by the square footage of your house. So I'm going to run through a quick example for you. This is a property we purchased recently, and I'm going to show you the comparable sales report that I pulled from the multiple listing service here in St. Louis, and show you exactly how I determined what this property is worth in today's market. So this house on Pasteur was a 2-bed, 1-bath house with 1,358 square feet that we bought from a wholesaler. So I went and I searched homes that have sold in the last year that were in the same neighborhood, similar style, and close in square footage. So you can see our subject house is a 2-bed, 1-bath with 1,358 square feet. This one's a 2-bed, 2-bath with 1,350 square feet. So this is pretty close house and similar style. This one sold for $70,000. Here's another one that sold recently. 3-bed with 1,355 square feet. This did have some more bathrooms, 2 full baths, or 1 full bath, 2 half baths. This one sold for 85. This one is quite larger in the beds and baths, so we might throw this one out actually. 4 beds, 2 baths, but only 1,209 square feet, where our property is 1,358 square feet. So that would probably actually even out and be a wash. This one sold for $90,000. And you can also see here, this is something else to really look at, is the days on market. This property was only on the market for 6 days, and they listed it at $89,900 and sold for $90,000. So it sold for just $100 over list after 6 days. So they probably didn't really maximize the value of this property. If this was left to be on the market for 30, 60 days and priced right, they probably would have gotten $95,000, maybe even $100,000 for it. But you know, they did sell it quick, so there's a lot of value in that. This was a 3-2, 1,200 square feet. Again, a little bit smaller property, sold for $93,000. I thought we had some more 2 bedrooms in here. Let's see. But here we go. 99,000, 104,000, 109,000. Although most of these homes had 3 or 4 bedrooms, the square footage on them actually is equivalent, and most appraisers actually they don't really count bedrooms when they're looking at appraised value of what a home is actually worth, surprisingly enough. So with our property being on the larger end of the scale on most of these, you know, we know it's worth at least $70,000, potentially up to $110,000. And with lease options, since we're putting ourselves in a great supply-demand situation, we can truly maximize this value and probably push it closer to the 90, 95 range. So we're going to price it right around there and call it a day. And we bought this property for $33,000. To get it rent ready, probably looking at $10,000 to $15,000 in repairs, maybe a little bit more. But let's say you're all in for $50,000, and we got a home now that's worth $90,000. That's a pretty good deal. And I'll take that deal all day long. And also what's great here is this shows the map. I think our property's one of these streets right here. So again, it's all in a rough general area, and not across any highway or anything like that. That's typically something you'd have to throw out if it's sitting on across a major street or major highway, you know, train tracks, any major divisions like that. You need to toss out those comps. All right, you want to find out more about us? Email us at joinoutproperties@gmail.com. Phone numbers there. You can also go to joinoutproperties.com to find some more case studies like this and some more information. And if you'd like to learn how to be an investor in your own area and how to put these deals together for yourself, go to autopilotassets.com. Thanks so much. Have a good one.